All right, we are a minute past 2 o'clock Eastern, so we're going to go ahead and get started with this webinar. Thanks everyone for joining me. I'm Dan Wayne with Sage Software, and my job at Sage is to promote the use of customer relationship management software within your budding businesses. So what I do in my daily tasks, I provide support to our implementation partners. So we have resellers who actually sell our ERP products and our CRM products. I also provide support to our customers who are evaluating CRM technology. So if you haven't heard, Sage has a motto, and that motto is to be recognized as the most valuable supporter of small and medium-sized companies by creating a greater freedom for you to succeed. And CRM is really one of those tools that helps drive success. Companies that adopt and use this technology correctly are absolutely more successful overall with their business processes. So I've actually put everyone on mute at the end of the teleconference today. I'll open up the lines if you have questions, but just be aware that I've muted everyone on this line. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to look at some interesting trends with small business, and we're also going to look at some basic CRM and Sage 300 integration functionality. We're going to showcase how CRM connects to your Sage ERP, and more specifically how that financial information from your ERP system or your accounting system can be extended in a CRM solution and give your workers more access to important information and important data across your business. In turn, as you have access to that kind of information, it can result in better collaboration and a better customer experience for your customers. I also like to say that an indirect advantage of an integrated ERP and CRM approach is that it also keeps nosy salespeople out of your accounting systems and really focused on the front lines of sales and marketing and customer service. So I want everyone on the line just to think about some of your core operations and some of the bottlenecks that might exist within those operations. There's certainly roadblocks that everyone faces. Think about some of those processes that make it difficult to maybe ship out items on time, or maybe it forces your salespeople to take unnecessary steps using the sales process you have today. Some of you may have very complex processes. Others might have very basic or just entry-level processes. So if you can, just kind of internalize what those are and really strip them down. What I want to do is just take a look at a poll that Sage conducted to thousands of customers in terms of what the top business challenges are for a small to mid-sized business. So I just wanted to open it up and actually look at some of the challenges that customers just like you face today. So looking at some of those top challenges, we conducted this survey and we got thousands of responses, and you can see that there's 5 or 6 different responses here that show that the company needs improvement, or the organization has some improvements to make in their processes. The first one was leads. Companies lack the ability to track and manage sales opportunities and leads effectively. So what does that mean exactly? Well, it means from the second a customer inquires about a product or service, your company's either slow to respond, or you have a distorted way of tracking those sales leads, or you have no set steps for your salespeople to track a lead from an opportunity. So that's a big one. 61% of the respondents said that was a huge challenge. The second challenge that customers like you face is that there's a lack of communications between teams and across different departments. So, do your customer service staff talk to sales and vice versa? Do you have project managers who need access to similar information that salespeople have, but they can't without waiting for a coworker to get back to them? There's things like that a CRM is going to help improve. The third one is missed sales. Whoops, we missed the sale because of a certain process, or just a lack of follow-up in a correct manner with the customer. There might have been something inhibiting you to miss that sale. 29% said they lack management insights across the entire business, or business insight. So that could be reporting on sales futures, project backlogs. That could be your marketing campaigns. It's difficult to report on those campaigns, or it's non-existent in our company. It's hard to merge information from all of our disparate systems. Additionally, quotes and orders and customer service kind of rounded out. So 18% of the survey respondents said they need to improve how they manage their quotes and orders. So, for instance, can your team, can your salespeople quote a customer on Monday and convert that quote to an order with the click of a button without accessing your ERP system on Friday? With customer service, I think that's pretty broad. It's just improving your customer service, so planning and tracking customer communication. So, these are mostly sales processes and marketing processes that need improvement. However, what we hear time and time again is that, again, businesses are using disparate systems and silos of information that really don't help improve these operations. So a CRM system is designed to establish rules and guidelines for your salespeople. It can give your customer service team insights that they didn't have before. And it's really just a way for you to segment and group your customers, whether you're a B2B type of company, a B2C type of company, or a mix of both. So in that same Sage survey that we just looked at, 62% of the survey respondents told us that they were using spreadsheets to manage business processes. And those processes could range from customer contact management to sales forecasting and sales management. And I hear this all the time when I talk with growing customers, with companies that are increasing revenue and growing year over year. It's really interesting to me to see the 62% number that say they use spreadsheets to manage key sales processes, because if you look at the last slide, 61% of those polled organizations have trouble tracking sales leads and opportunities. So that first orange bar there, I think there's some correlation between the use of spreadsheets or overuse of spreadsheets and the lack of lead tracking. So, what's the issue with spreadsheets and multiple databases? Well, we all know how to use a spreadsheet, and they can definitely be helpful to get work done. So I understand the familiarity that we have with them, but what we also see from customers is that it's a strong indicator that you're just at the tip of the iceberg in terms of hidden costs to your organizations and errors in those spreadsheets and inefficiencies across your multiple teams within your company. So if you're like most organizations, you probably run on low margins. So having added hours on tasks and errors and delays that can pile up can kind of run your company into the ground. And not only that, but companies just like you tell us that they need better visibility into their customers and their overall business health. Just as an example, if I were to call into your company, your sales team and your customer service representatives should be able to tell me things that I don't even know about my business. So things like what customer support issues are going on, are there current sales opportunities, is there a big deal out there with my organization that your customers should know about? And then just overall communications between your customer and your company, all within a matter of seconds. So you should be able to look in a CRM and understand the full relationship that you have with that customer. And I think today customers really demand you do your research on them and at the very least understand the relationship you have with their organization. So whenever you see separate systems or systems where you have to manually assemble reports or information, there's a good chance that you don't have all the information you need to get the full picture of your business. And everyone's using a different type of system or a different method within the business. And I think one of the most common reasons that businesses seek a CRM solution is to replace those spreadsheets and those manual business processes. The problem I see with this Excel happy approach is that, again, every worker has a different way of managing their own spreadsheet, whereas a CRM is really a clearly defined business process-driven system. So just another quick example. I like to bring real-world examples into these webcasts. Just for a second, imagine if you asked your sales team for a monthly forecast. And I'm a salesperson, so I know what forecasting is all about. But I also know other sales representatives. And if you were using spreadsheets or your own way of forecasting, each of those spreadsheets would incorporate different methods of how they got to their sales prediction. So, would those methods include the anecdotal information that goes into the sale that could sway the forecast, the relationship that you have with that company or that customer? Most likely probably not, just because you don't really have a place for that in a spreadsheet. So again, it should really take you less than 10 seconds to pull up a customer's full profile, anecdotes of information, and influential data that can help your relationships. I'm just going to go back real quick. One quick statistic. We do a lot of these research. We find a lot of research out there and do a lot of competitive research. One company found that in 13 of the audits that they did, 88% of spreadsheets contained errors, and 5 to 30% of them were very serious errors or had some sort of material financial consequence. So a lot of companies, put their product information and pricing in spreadsheets, and I can easily see that, those errors could occur in a quoting situation or in a really serious sales matter or business relationship matter. All right, so that's enough spreadsheet bashing for a little bit. So whether your CRM or a CRM helps you gain insights into customer buying trends or makes you more productive with your marketing campaigns or customer service, or just help you with communication, it can really give you a leg up on competition. With that being said, I want to encourage you today to kind of go one step further than just thinking about how a CRM alone can improve your business. You can do better than just having a CRM. I think it's a good first step. But there's an integrated way where you can actually look at that ERP system within your CRM database to get a fully integrated view of your business. Okay, so most of you attending this webinar have invested in a Sage 300 ERP system to run your business. You've already taken that first step kind of to overcome any sort of business challenges you might have by building a solid foundation to move your business forward. So, think about ERP for a second. What does it do for you? Well, it's kind of the backbone of your company, right? It's the backbone of your financial reporting, your accounting processes, and more. Many of you are probably using it to manage other business processes, though, that really shouldn't be done in an ERP system. So, think about for a second as you track prospects. Do you have a way to track prospects within your ERP and really the basis of that customer relationship? It's not really what an accounting system is designed to do. You're not really tracking the beginning of a customer relationship in an ERP. It's really designed to track customer data. So you're tracking your financial operations and your accounting operations within your ERP. So a lot of our customers are still managing other business processes outside of their ERP system that really they should use a CRM for some other way. So despite having that solid ERP, it doesn't necessarily mean you're crushing your sales like you should be. ERP really gives you the financial strength of your company, but it doesn't talk about the potential strength. So we see a lot of silos. We see a lot of organizations that have siloed information. I mean, I think it's true for any company. You say, oh, well, the sales doesn't talk to the marketing team, and the marketing team doesn't talk to the customer service team. I think it's fairly descriptive of one of our common customers, and quite frankly, sometimes here at Sage even. So do you think there's room for improvement in your organization for any of the following? Just kind of think about these for a second. So the top businesses in your industry are using customer relationship management. It gives you a leg up. There's a competitive advantage when you have information at your fingertips that's managed in a more desirable way and a more methodical way. So just wanted to bring this up. That Aberdeen Research Group in 2012 indicated that the top industry performers actively use CRM. Another Gartner study found that 40% of respondents who use CRM gain a competitive advantage. So just a few facts there. So what we're looking at now are some silos, right? You might have a contact management system, Microsoft Outlook, or spreadsheets of prospects and customers. You might have email lists. You probably have a quoting software or a quoting method. Or maybe you even have a CRM in place today that's kind of like a patchwork software. You don't really use it. So maybe it's more like shelfware for you. Having these disconnected areas doesn't really make for empowered sales teams and customer service teams and just the rest of your business. So again, I'll kind of preach that unified approach, which is going to be a common theme today, of having a direct integrated software solution. So one of the first things that you would do using Sage ERP and Sage CRM together is you'd send over your customer data from the ERP and link them into the CRM as new records, along with their ERP customer or vendor number. So you're basically moving your customers from the ERP system into the CRM system so that they're in both places. That is going to allow you to easily summarize ERP data on those accounts within the CRM. So you have this central repository now for both customers as well as prospects. So I think that's a big point to make with CRM, is that it's not just used to track customer information, it's also used to track supplier data, vendor information. A lot of construction companies use it to track architect information and architect records. So there's a lot of different kinds of business relationships that you have that you would want to track within a CRM. And just as a quick aside, you know, it's kind of my opinion, but I think that for a lot of years, many companies had it wrong when it came to their customer relationships. So if you think about it, a lot of sales organizations begin with potential customers, right? Tracking interactions with potential buyers from day one. So I don't start off as a buyer necessarily. I'm probably a prospect to most companies. So in my mind, having a historical view of that prospect is really key in driving new business from day one. I think a lot of sales are missed or lost, you know, due to missed appointments or faulty follow-through or just not having a good historical view on that customer. So while ERP is really good at tracking order information and invoice data, it's not really that relationship management tool. So in listening to Sage ERP customers just like you, who took that extra step by bringing together ERP and CRM, we found that they had a better grip on their customer relations. It's kind of that mountain view, the high-level view from looking at the entire customer, not just looking at accounting information. And when we asked those people who integrated Sage CRM to Sage ERP, the top benefit that was reported was a consistent, reliable customer information database across their business, obviously. They also experienced greater business efficiencies and productivity results and greater reporting, as well as just an enhanced ownership experience. So, you know, just some really nice productivity enhancements and different merits that I think are tied into integrating a CRM. So a lot of things like reducing data duplication and process duplication and access to real-time customer data. So I'm just kind of spinning through this wheel here. It's making me want to click on it a lot. So what is a CRM? Well, it's more than just customer relationships. It helps you track and manage any activity or any process or information that's connected with your business relationships, which are generally customer relationships, but they can be more than that, as I mentioned earlier. It could be a vendor, a supplier, or more. So at the heart, it's about business relationships. It doesn't matter if they're a customer, a prospect, or something else. Okay, so we like to say that there's one CRM definition. It's designed to help your marketing, sales, customer service, and operations teams. It's not just a sales tool. Operations can use it as well as customer service and marketing. So things like quotes and orders, customer addresses, follow-up appointments, document storage, and just segmenting your customers, and even project management can be run from a CRM system. So it's going to help you focus on putting everything into one place and using the same workflows and the same processes to review information related to that account. So for instance, again, another real world example, let's say it's, we're coming up on the holiday season and you're strapped thin, and maybe you've got some temporary employees, some temporary customer service reps or sales reps, and those people are now taking orders for you. With a CRM, those people will need to follow the same rules as the standard salesperson if they're going to be entering orders. So that's something that I think it's just a good real-world example. If you have new employees or if you have people leaving your organization, there's still a set rule or set process that you have to go by in order to move things along within the system. So what does actually integrating CRM and ERP actually do for you? Well, once they connect, once you link them together, you can take key information from each system, and it really integrates into one view so that, again, everyone across your business uses the same information. So here's some of the merits of the integrations here. You can see orders, invoices, shipment information, credit limits, business reporting. There's just different histories that you're going to be able to see from the CRM that normally a person who doesn't have access to your ERP system would now be able to see. A lot of people call this front end to back end office integration, or front line operations to back line operations integration. One thing that I want to point out is that it's important to note that each ERP system that Sage offers integrates differently with Sage CRM due to the nature and the structure of those accounting systems. So Sage 100, which is one of our ERPs, and Sage 300 ERP integrate with Sage CRM out of the box, whereas some of the other ERPs that we offer, such as Sage 500 and some of the construction ERPs, you have to actually use add-on components to get the two systems talking. But with Sage 300 ERP, which is what I'm focusing on today, you will have out-of-the-box integration with Sage CRM. So there's different things that sales and customer service would use CRM for. A salesperson can see things such as order histories and order quantities, and also look at invoice history as well as when things have shipped out, as well as credit limits on an account. Really all information that's provided through the ERP system, but without the need to actually use a license to access that information in the ERP system. So it gives the salesperson the ability to inquire into the ERP system. So you'd have the ability to look at integrated order entry screens that you can view and edit to save quotes and orders directly within the CRM. You've got your marketing team that can use the integration to look for new opportunities within the customer base. So understanding what customers buy and looking at seasonality and reviewing order histories, so you can pitch the right products to the right people at the right time. And then management and operations across your business would have access to the same information on accounts. So who called who when, and when was the last time you spoke to someone at a company, and even little anecdotal things, as I mentioned earlier, like what's John Doe's alma mater? Do we have enough inventory to ship enough product? It's really all questions that the integration can help you achieve. One other complaint I hear from companies a lot is that the salespeople or the front office people have to make kind of like a dreaded call into the accounting side of the house to find out if a customer is on good credit terms or if they need some other piece of information related to finances. So just ask yourself, how much time in hours does it take your people to get the information they need to see and hear throughout their day? So verifying credit terms, verifying credit. You can see some of the questions they might be looking for from the accountant or from the CFO or someone else who doesn't really have much time to answer those questions. So if your salespeople can find that information out themselves, they'd be able to save a lot of time and use that time to do other tasks such as selling if that's their job. Similarly, let's say I actually make a sale. So I'm a salesperson at your company and I make a sale. Well, how does that information flow to your accounting system? If I'm a salesperson, I want to be able to place an order directly from a CRM tool and have that hit your ERP system. That's something that I would be able to promote with this integration. You'd also be able to promote a prospect to a customer from the CRM into the ERP. So if you're working with an organization that has not yet purchased an item from you, they're a prospect, but when they become that customer, you have the ability to promote a prospect to a customer. So, it's a lot of simple things that I think every salesperson, every customer service person would want to see. So a CRM solution simplifies just the work in your business. I'll give you some additional examples of what it does for marketing and sales and customer service. We reviewed a lot of this stuff already, so I'll go through it pretty quickly. But for marketing, a CRM can help with campaign management and reporting. It can help with lead to opportunity management. So how about taking leads off of your website and actually having it flow right into your CRM, as well as moving a lead from that lead stage to an opportunity. And then other things like identifying the best customers to sell to based on past experience with your company. That's one click too many there. So for sales, it's all about managing the pipeline, right? Having and knowing who your best opportunities are with, not missing any opportunities that can be impactful to your bottom line. So it's really designed to help you manage that pipeline, lead, and opportunity management, as well as things like territory management. So assigning the right work to the right people. If you have territories, that can be key, so that if an opportunity or some sort of business lead comes in, you can assign that to the right rep or to the right follow-up person. And then finally, I think the most important thing is creating workflows. So within Sage CRM, there's a workflow engine. And that workflow engine allows you to put processes in place for each type of sales activity, from calls to follow-up appointments to emails and quotes and orders. There's a certain set of rules that salespeople should follow, almost like dominoes falling down the line, so that if they wish to progress an opportunity, okay, if I'm trying to progress this opportunity from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3, I have to upload document A in order to do that, and that might be approval from a manager for a discount, or it might be some sort of spec or design paperwork. So there's certain things like that that are really important. And of course, calendars, keeping appointments in one place. All right, and finally, it also handles cases. So CRM is used for customer service. What about escalation and notification of alerts that come in when a customer is really angry? If there's a major issue that comes up with a customer, you want your CRM to be able to notify the higher-ups at your company or people who are really working closely with that organization that there is an issue. So there's notifications that can automatically happen if a service level agreement has been breached, or if there's some sort of case that's come up that's really going to affect the business of your customer. So it also helps you analyze incoming calls and volumes of cases that are coming in, customer support issues, and just areas of concern in general. So the bottom line is it's really about empowering your customer service team to just provide more consistent service and more excellent service. So I think that's important, especially if you look at the bottom of your screen here. It costs your company 4 times as much to gain new customers versus retaining existing ones. So that's a big statement. It's hard to go out and find new customers, but when you get a customer and you get that recurring revenue coming from orders or coming from additional service work that you're providing, it's really key to the success of your business and just really escalating that relationship or promoting that relationship to the next level. Okay, so there's another area of CRM that has become more prevalent over the years, and that's social media. I think it's growing more important every day because business is becoming bigger, and there's more websites out there. There's more outlays that they can, or people that can talk about your business or your customer's business. So the world of social media is pretty big, and each of your customers is most likely on these sites, LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter. I think most people are doing a lot more research today than they ever have on the companies they're buying from, and I would say that most people are halfway through their buying decision before they even contact you. So any insights that you can gain about that customer or that potential customer or the decision makers at that organization can be really key. So your company needs to be online, and you should be engaging, especially in areas where your company reputation is at stake or where there's conversations happening about buying decisions. So when you use a CRM, you can also link CRM accounts to different social media outlets such as Facebook. You can also have quick links or widgets to people's LinkedIn profiles and also a Twitter feed for your company. I think probably the first thing that I do when I am talking with someone on the phone is I look at their LinkedIn page. I try to find that person on LinkedIn and see what kind of background they have. Do we have any connections? What do they look like? There's just different things that I would suggest doing if you're going to be having those discussions and you've never met the person. So Sage CRM it's a browser-based software. And what that means is that you can navigate and use the system really from wherever you go. So to make it easier to do that, to make it easier to access your opportunities and your key contacts and your calendar, we've developed an iPhone application for the software, as well as accessibility from any tablet or phone. So Sage CRM uses what we call responsive design. And that might be a buzzword you've heard. That simply means that the architecture or the backbone of the tool is such that it expands and contrasts depending on the device that you're using, so that information is going to be more consumable and digestible whether you're on an iPhone or an iPad. It's going to look differently based on the size of your screen. So if you've ever been on a website on your phone or on your iPad that doesn't look quite right, and you have to kind of pinch your fingers to make it bigger and smaller, and it's kind of moving away from you, that's because the site's not really set up for responsive design. So according to Gartner, in 2016, 40% of the workforce out there is going to be mobile, and 2/3 of those people are going to be using smartphones. So it's 1.6 billion phones purchased globally. So it's really a change in the way that we do business. And there's a big impact on small to mid-sized business as well. So if you want to stay competitive, I think you need to extend your business out to where the business is taking you. So CRM can also ensure that you have the information about your customers on the go. And I just know from personal experience, I've used other CRM tools in the past where I didn't have an app or I didn't have mobile access. It's important to type information about opportunities, sales opportunities, or customer service issues, right after the meeting happens with customers or right before the meeting happens. So you definitely don't want to do it later that night, in the hotel room at 9 o'clock at night. So, how do we start with CRM? Like, what's the best strategy moving forward? How do we build momentum, as the slide indicates? Should you build out CRM across every department right away, or should you start it with, just a few users? How does it kind of start out? Well, our customers tell us to start in a place where I think you can control the success of the software. I think it's important to have a champion of the product, a project manager, someone who is the administrator of the solution. And to me, it's really more of a crawl, walk, run type of strategy. It doesn't happen overnight. So the biggest key is adopting the solution. I think you want to ensure that the users of the software are happy to use the tool because it's making their lives easier. So I think it's important to implement, test, and extend and grow the capabilities of CRM. Working with our business partners, I think they can really help you set expectations and understand how the tool should be configured for you initially. But it's one of those things where I would probably start with one of your teams internally, whether it's customer service or sales. Most people start with sales and marketing and kind of expand upon it and think about ways that you can incorporate more users into the system. So this slide is just talking about some of the goals that you might have to accelerate your business forward. In summary, I think this is a good overview of Sage CRM. This slide just indicates that it's an easy-to-use and affordable product. It's got mobility, and it's got social media integration, and it integrates with your ERP solution. So it's going to drive the efficiencies in your business because it's got strong workflow, and it's a highly flexible tool. You can configure the software and customize the software to meet your business needs. So whether you're in distribution or manufacturing or construction, I like to think of CRM as XRM because the X stands for variable. It can do whatever you want it to do, essentially. Obviously, there's customizations that go into that, but if you have project management or managed services that you're looking to manage in a CRM, that's possible. If you have a certain type of equipment that you're selling and you need to keep track of that equipment, that's certainly something that is doable. Or event management, nonprofit management. Those are all examples of how people are using CRM. In terms of deployment options, it's available in two ways. It's available on-premise. If you want to integrate Sage CRM to your Sage ERP 300 system, you would need the on-premise version of the software. It's also available in the cloud. So we have a cloud version of the software as well. It's a little bit different from the on-premise version of the tool, but very similar still. And let me just emphasize again that having that integration is a real advantage. I think, again, the visibility you get across your business is going to give you kind of a customer-centric view for everyone involved and all of your users. So I want to flip gears here. There's some different comments from just research analysts in the industry talking about Sage CRM. I'm not going to read through those, but it's a low total cost of ownership type of software, and there's a lot of functionalities there. So let's take a look at Sage CRM, and we'll do maybe about 15 minutes of review. We'll look at some of the integration with Sage 300, and then we'll open it up for questions. So we're at the 45-minute mark now. This is my information. That is not me drawing the steps there on the chalkboard, but this is my information. If you ever want to contact me, feel free to reach out. Okay, so let's flip screens. I'm just going to stop sharing here for a minute, and I'll be right back. I just need to flip over to my CRM. I'm actually going to open it up for questions real quick just to see if anyone has anything on the line before we get into the presentation portion.
All guests have been unmuted.
All right, anyone have any questions on the line?
Hey, Dan, am I the only one on the line?
No. There's about 7 others.
Oh, okay.
Do you have a question, or you're just wondering if it was just
the question.
Me?
Yeah.
It's okay.
I've got a question. The online versions, will there be integration at some point in the cloud between the various ERPs?
Yeah, it's a great question. Sage is working on a strategy using our Sage Data Cloud. So if you're not familiar with that technology, you've got 2 different types of software. You've got cloud and you've got on-premise. Your Sage 300 product is on your own server, most likely. With that being said, Sage CRM is offered either in the cloud or on-premise. What we're planning to do in 2015, and the actual release date of this is to be determined, but what we're planning on doing is connecting Sage ERP, so Sage 100, Sage 300, the rest of the products, with Sage CRM Cloud. And the way that we're going to do that is using what we're calling the Data Cloud. And a good way to think about it is to think about your Apple products today, and they have that iCloud type of functionality. Basically, what we're going to be doing is pulling data from the ERP system into this Sage Data Cloud. And once it's in that data cloud, the CRM can actually pull the information in that's been sent up to the cloud into the CRM, so that you're pulling in important information about about your customers, whether it's demographic information or order histories and invoices. So it's coming soon, but it's not available today. The integration in the on-premise product, in the on-premise CRM product, I think will always be a little bit more intuitive and just direct than the way that it's going to be in the cloud. Okay?
Thanks.
Okay, can everyone see my screen okay?
Yes.
All right, I'm just going to mute everyone so we don't get any feedback here, and then I'll open it up at the end again.
All guests have been muted.
All right, guys. So we're looking at a company, and in this case, the company that we're looking at is actually a person. So the company name, as you can see here, is Ronald Black. So this is a B2C type of organization, right? A company could be a person. It could also be an actual organization. But in this case, we're just looking at a guy named Ronald Black. That's the name of the company. This is Sage CRM. It's a field-based and tab-based system. So on the left-hand side of your screen, you have different icons and different menus that you can navigate through to get to certain portions of the system. And then at the top here, I have information related to this company. So I'm on the administration tab. I'm actually going to click over to main menu here. So I'm looking at a guy named, again, Ronald Black. Here's the company summary. You can see we're in the company record because we're looking at this building here that just indicates the entity that we're in. And we have some information about this guy, right? So company name, is he a customer? Is he a prospect? Is he an architect? Or is he an agency that we're working with? Does he have a service level agreement? So there's different fields here. These fields are all customizable or configurable. It takes about 5 seconds to add a field onto this screen. So obviously you can add the fields that you need on your screen. Maybe you call your account managers service reps. You would be able to change that to the desired field. You'll also notice that there's some Sage 300 data affiliated with his account. And what this means is that he's linked up to our 300 database. So we've already linked this organization, this company with Sage 300. Again, the first step that you would do in the integration is actually dump your customers into the CRM. And using what we're calling the integration engine, it's really simple to do that. It would just be a one-time dump and get all of your companies over into the CRM just like this with their 300 customer number. You also get information from the ERP such as tax group and terms and credit limit and things like that. As I scroll through these tabs at the top of the screen, I'll just kind of review each one and what they do. So the quick look is going to give you exactly that. We're looking at customer service issues at the bottom. Are there any problems going on with this account? Do we have any sales opportunities with Mr. Ronald Black? And what stage are those opportunities in? So these are like almost the latest contacts we've had with him at the top. So we had an email come in on March 5th. We've phoned him out. So there's different communications here, starting with the most latest, and then who's the person we were actually talking with at this company, what was the subject, et cetera. So you get a lot of information just looking at this quick look about the most recent correspondence. So again, going back to the first part of our conversation, if I'm a customer and I call in, I should know right off the bat, just by clicking on Quick Look, if you're entering in data correctly in the CRM, what's going on with this customer immediately? Is there a huge opportunity with him and a huge customer service issue that needs to be resolved, or is he happy as a clam? I'm going to skip marketing for now and look at communications. Again, this is just simply a list of all the communications that you have with this man or this company. If I wanted to contact Ronald directly from the CRM, I could click New Email. That's actually going to allow me to send out an email to Ronald. And I have different options here. So this actually integrates with Microsoft Outlook. You can see I have send email directly from the CRM here, or send using Microsoft Outlook. So phone calls, meetings we've had, emails, tasks and appointments. This is where all your communications are stored. I've also got a list of opportunities that I have underway with Ronald Black. So I could click into this hardware upgrade or this big quote or any of these other descriptive items here. That's actually going to take me into the opportunity. Cases is going to look at any customer service cases. So if I wanted to file a new case, I would click on new case and that would take me further. And then documents is kind of an interesting one. Well, I can actually drop documents into the system. So any documents related to this customer, I can drop into the document section. Taking this a step further, and I'll pull this up real quick. You can see I have one document found. I can open that document directly from the CRM.
All guests have been unmuted.
Can everyone see my Excel spreadsheet here? I just unmuted everyone.
Yes.
Okay. So it's just a place to drop documents. You can store documents within the system. Additionally, if I go back to my opportunities section or my opportunities tab, if I'm working on a hardware upgrade with Ronald Black, I can click into the actual opportunity and I can track documents specifically related to this opportunity. So you'll notice that the entity has now changed. We're no longer really on the company record. We're in the opportunity record. So we're still talking about Ronald Black as the company, but we're now in an opportunity, which is almost like a level deeper into the tool. So if I wanted to track a document specifically for this hardware upgrade, I could do that here. Additionally, we now have a quotes and orders tab, which is where any quotes with this order would go, or any orders he placed that relate to this opportunity. So here I could create a new quote and actually promote that quote to an order, which would hit the ERP system directly. I want to show you some of the 300 integration functionality. You can see this Promote to Sage 300 ERP tab is here. We've already done it. I could unlink the customer if I wanted. I don't really know why you do that, but you could unlink him, but you can see we've already got him linked up with his customer number. And now when I look at the rest of these fields here, these 5 fields, these are all screens that are coming from the ERP. So if I want to look at AR, I can look at all of the AR transactions. This Sage 300 integration with CRM is a pull, kind of like a pull into the CRM. So all of the integration is done via the web. It's all web-based. And now I can actually drill down into some of the receipts and some of the invoices that we've got from this customer. So I'll just pull up this document here real quickly. Okay, so we're just looking at the receipt here for this customer. Again, invoice and credit notes and other information here. I can select the document dates that I want to look at and the document type. So if I'm only looking at refunds or invoices, I can do that as well. And then I can go back to my AR inquiry menu by clicking on this button here on the right. So you have these tabs that are very helpful here that are actually pulling from the ERP system directly into the ERP. If I look at customer statistics, it's going to really review information that's important on aging and credit information. So here I can see if he's on credit hold and the balance due and other essential items that you would most likely want to see as a salesperson. So what's his year to date in terms of discounts. Here are the salespeople and their commission split associated with this account. So, some of you might have your system set up in that manner. And you can perform the aging by clicking on the arrow here in the upper right-hand corner. And it's actually going to show you by putting your dates in, his 30, 60, 90, and over. Optional fields also come over from Sage 300. So other important pieces of information that a lot of times are valuable to have.
Yeah.
All guests have been muted.
And now I'm just listing all the orders. So again, this is essential to most people, I think, in a sales role. So I can drill down into this order, this rollaway bed order. Maybe I'm selling bedding products, and I could drill down into this specific order, and I can see, okay, it was a fluorescent desk lamp. Here's the actual item number, what we have back ordered at the warehouse, what the cost of the unit is, etc. Things like expected ship dates, how we're shipping it, really just any kind of information from the ERP can be displayed from within the CRM. Anything that's hyperlinked will also take you deeper into things like optional fields or the tax receipt, or if I click on customer number, it'll actually open up the AR for this customer. So one other thing I want to point out, if I click back on Mr. Ronald Black, if I were to change his address here, so he's at 2821 Wabash Road in LA. If I were to change this to 2820 Wabash Road, what would happen is when I link or when I save this record to 2820, it'll also change it in the ERP system. So it's a back and forth type of thing. If you change something in the ERP, it changes it in the CRM. If you change it in the CRM, it changes it in the ERP. So if I were to open up Sage 300 now and look at customer number 1200, it would show me his address is 2820. So it's also good for record keeping. It reduces that deduplication, it reduces the duplication effort that you might have. There's a lot more we can do with the integration. I do just want to show you some other core functionality with CRM. And if you are interested in seeing a demo of this functionality with kind of a full capabilities review, that's certainly something that we'd want to set up excuse me, with your business partner or with myself. I can get more into the integration, and we can actually open up Sage 300 and look at some of the features there. Just understand that there are certain security parameters and certain security measurements and just security levels that you can add in if you want your CSRs or your salespeople to have access to do certain things with the integration. So there's field level security as well as database level security. If you want people to be able to access certain screens and certain levels of the ERP data, you can do that within CRM. It's really flexible in terms of what you allow your workers to access. So here, what we're looking at is just a dashboard in CRM. You can see I've got different widgets, as we call them. I've got widget 1 here, which is looking at all of my open opportunities. So I'm in this tool from the perspective of a salesperson. I'm now looking at all of my open opportunities that are available to me. These are all assigned to me, and I've been working on these for quite some time. And directly from this screen, I can actually manage my day. If I just spoke to one of these customers on this 120 user expense system, there's an action button here, and I can actually progress this opportunity to the next stage and say, okay, I just sold I just sold that 120 user expense system. So this is part of the workflow that I was talking about earlier, where you're actually assigning a stage or assigning a certain, almost like assigning a click that the person has to do, prior to moving the opportunity forward. I've also got contacts here, so if I wanted to look at, Mr. Kershaw or Mr. Mendelson, I could click on the LinkedIn profile. That takes me out to Internet Explorer and his LinkedIn profile. You can also click on these widgets. So they're just reports in Fusion Graphs. I could click on this opportunity status report, and this is going to show me as a salesperson the state of all of my opportunities. How many opportunities have I submitted a proposal for? How many have been qualified? How many are in the negotiating stage? There's a lot I can do with these reports just to really quickly get a high-level overview of the companies I'm working with, the stage of the actual opportunity, when the opportunity was opened, and what I'm forecasting for that opportunity and my total forecast here for the quarter. So as a sales manager, you might want to see this from a team perspective. And you could do that. You could have all of your different team members listed out and what state their opportunities are in. There's different dashboards that are baked into the software. So the tool comes with about 6 pre-configured dashboards. In this case, I'm just looking at a sample database, so I don't have all of them. But I could look at Sales Dashboard 1, for instance. And this would show me something a little bit different. I think there's a lot of similarities here. But now I've got my calendar up. I don't have any activities planned for today. Man, I'm really struggling as a sales guy, and I don't have any companies. So I need to do some work. But you get the idea. This is going to show you a list of all the companies you're working with, all your opportunities with those companies. In this case, I've got a Sage CRM community site over here. So if I'm an administrator of the software, I can come out to the apps or the user community and find out a lot of information about how to use and how to configure this software. I think that's probably a good quick overview for everyone. We're almost at the hour mark, and I want to leave 2 minutes for communication and Q&A. So again, feel free to contact me if you want to see a personalized demo of this, or we can get in touch with your business partner and they can do the demo for you if they're certified to sell CRM. So I'll just open up the lines again one more time, and thanks a lot for joining me.
All guests have been unmuted.
All right, anyone have any questions before we hang up? Leave it open for another minute. If anyone has a question, feel free to ask. It's very easy to create new companies or new people within the software, as it should be. Just clicking on this new button, I could create a new company really quickly here just by searching for companies with that same name. It's going to look for duplicates, and then I enter in my company details. So again, you can configure these screens to your liking. All right, we are at an hour, so guys, appreciate the time, and feel free to reach out, like I said. Thanks so much, and look forward to talking with you all in the future. Take care.
The host has left the meeting. So at this time, the meeting will come to an end. Thank you, and goodbye.